I would like to introduce our booktubers, so come on down. Yay, round of applause. And I'll introduce you all individually. Yay. Oh my gosh. I know this is Carolyn, and if you wouldn't mind just passing the mic down and just saying hello.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
Bubbly book nerd.
Hi, I'm Brynn from Brynn's Bookshelf.
Hi, I'm Danielle from Simply Thoughtful Books.
Hi, I'm Emma.
Emmabooks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Emma from Emmabooks.
I'm Michael from Michael Bookline.
Awesome. Yeah, just, you know.
We're gonna start doing questions. Let's start with a few questions. All right. So the first question I have is, we already did a name and channel, but everyone talk about how long you've been on. Why is it doing this?
I'm holding it wrong. I'm holding it wrong. How long you've been on Booktube, your favorite book, and to
Sum up your channel.
You're just not doing like
Why isn't it working?
Sorry. Oh my goodness.
It's probably my fault.
Yeah, probably.
Is it working now?
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, like I said, how long you've been on Booktube, your
Favorite book?
I'm not having any luck with
What are you
this.
trying to say?
Should I just
You try.
What are the questions? Okay, so how long you've been on Booktube, your favorite book, and sum up your channel in 10 words or less. Am I starting?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
you're
starting.
starting.
That's great. Oh, it's not working for me either. As it works. Okay. I forget the question.
How long you've been on Booktube?
Okay, so on and off for like 2 years, I think.
Your favorite book?
Favorite book? That changes. That changes. But I'd say right now the Raven Cycle series, which recently concluded, and
Sum up your channel.
it's just not working. Oh. Pass.
You can't pass.
Okay. I've been on Booktube for about 2.5 years now.
My favorite.
I'm just gonna keep going, whether it cuts out or not. My favorite book
Well, my favorite series
is The Immortal Instrument by Cassandra Clare. And to sum up my channel,
in 10 words. I didn't plan this one out.
helpful tips,
Shadowhunters reviews.
Lots
Of yelling.
Cassandra Clare.
Well, less than 10 words.
Oh.
Okay.
I've been on Booktube for like just a year basically, and my favorite, this is not going to work for me either. My favorite book is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, which if you haven't read it, you should. And to sum up my channel in 10 words or less,
Yeah.
No pressure.
yeah, it's really hard. Books with Hamilton mixed into it. I don't
Very
think that was,
accurate,
I didn't
very
count that.
Plus the 10.
I've been on Booktube for, I think, 2 years in August, and my favorite book is Lumine by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, which is not a surprise if you ever watched one of my videos. Sum up my channel, I talk about Lumine in every single video, book hauls, book reviews, and I don't know how many words that is.
That was probably more than 10.
I cheat.
So
I've been on Booktube since September, so I'm bad at math. I'm not gonna guess how many months that was. What's the next one? Favorite book. Oh, I love the Harry Potter series and Harry Potter trash for almost 9 years, since kindergarten. And
To sum up my channel,
lots of books,
lots of awkward.
lots of Hamilton.
That's
Yeah.
nice. You got it.
Yeah.
Alright, stay back here.
So
How did you guys find Booktube and what
inspired your channel?
I think I just randomly searched or saw a video from one of the Explosion people, and then I saw that there were other people who were making videos about books. It just stopped entirely. And I just watched it for a while, and then one day I decided, why not do it as well? And I did.
I had been on YouTube previously. I started a different channel when I was 13, but when I was 17, I got really into the Mortal Instrument series, and I was trying to figure out like how to pronounce all the words, because with fantasy books, there's always so many words that have like, everyone pronounces them entirely different. So I found a few people that had made videos talking about like just saying how they say different things in the Mortal Instruments, like steel and Swamply, and I was like, this is really cool, I want to do that. So being on YouTube before, like I didn't like I was accustomed to like making videos, but that's definitely how I found it.
I found it from Christine from Born Bananas Books, and I think that a lot of people have the same story. It was her Isabel Lightwood conspiracy theory video. So good, and I just knew I wanted to do it, and I went back and forth for a long time if I could actually do it, and then I did it.
I remember the first Booktube video I ever saw was Christine's morning period video. But then after that, I kind of just saw that on Tumblr and then didn't dive into it at all. But then around the time Insurgent came out, I think, my friend read it. So then I just started watching videos from there, and then eventually I decided, hey, why not make a channel?
So I think I found Booktube through Sasha from A Book Utopia back in like 5th grade. And I don't remember what it was. I think that was when I started looking at Divergent stuff. And I started thinking about doing Booktube early in 2015 when I decided to set a Goodreads goal that year. And yeah, that's when I started watching Booktube and thinking about it.
I think I like making skit videos just because I get to just do something entirely different and like fun and weird. And it doesn't have to have any sort of purpose, just but to have fun and talk about books at the same time. So I pick those.
My favorite videos to make are probably unboxings. I just love, especially like being surprised by what book is in there. I don't know. I just get so much excitement out of like having a new book or like having new book related items. They're definitely my favorite to film, and I really like rating discussion videos, like whether it's about like a specific book or like just things about literature. Like I talked about rating books, and I just went on like sponsored videos on Booktube. I just have a lot of fun like doing research on different topics related to books, and then making videos like informing people about them, and then just like sharing my opinions on things other than like just a specific book.
I really like sketch videos too, which is why things like Booktubeathon and the biannual Bibliothon are so important that we have them. And then I also like editing vlogs, like putting music into it and stuff, but I don't vlog, so I don't know why I like it.
Lately, I've really liked filming reviews lately because like I just started doing that more frequently, and I feel like it challenges me more. Like I want to try and make them good reviews and everything, so I really liked doing those lately.
So for the past year, I've been going to a lot of book events and signings, specifically here in Princeton. So I love doing the signed book calls and talking about the events I go to, because I've had some really awkward experiences where I've embarrassed myself in front of authors. So it's a lot of fun to talk about. So in contrast to that, what are your least favorite type of videos to make, or like what's one stereotypical Booktube video that you don't make at all?
I don't do book reviews very often, just because when I read a book, my thoughts are all over the place, and I'm just not good at getting them in. Is this at all? I'm just like not good at.
Just drop the mic.
You can drop it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like not good at. Do I turn it off?
Yeah, you can turn it.
Okay, we good.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just not good at getting my thoughts together, and it's just, I feel like when I'm on camera and talking about books and like my thoughts on them, I'm just shouting and I start talking about one thing, and then I'm like, oh wait, I want to talk about something else. I talk about something entirely different, and I plan on doing those more, but I just haven't done the best one.
I just have a lot of trouble writing reviews. Like for every book review I post, there's probably 5 that are sitting in my notes in my phone, just because I write them out, I plan them out, but they just, for some reason, I just can't get my thoughts coherently wrapped around the topic for me to do it, even though I do post book reviews every once in a while. Personally, one book type of video that I don't normally post is to be read videos, like for the month. I always have an idea of what I want to read during the month, but I never like to commit and like put it out there that like, these are the 6 books I'm planning on reading this month, and then if I only get around to 3 of them, or I read 3 that are totally not, and then I'm like, oh, I failed. So I definitely don't like those so much.
Yeah, I don't like TBRs either because I can't stick to it. And there will also never be, there's one wrap-up on my channel, there will never be another one. I'll never read anything. Like, I'll read one thing, but I feel like to make a wrap-up, you need an impressive amount of books you read in a month, so I don't do them.
This is really random. I don't like bookshelf reorganization videos. Like, I can never watch them in the first place, but like, I feel like I'm really awkward trying to like, if I ever were to film one, I just feel really awkward doing it. And it would be really long because I take forever to actually make a shelf look good.
They take so long to film too. they take like hours and hours to do like a tour.
I tried to do it last week and it's like a mess. Like I feel like it's weird to upload a video of everyone just like looking at my shoulders as I put this on the shelf. But the ones that I probably will never make, and I don't even watch these normally, are bookshelf tours. Now, like I like it when I see how people organize their books. So when people say like in order, like this book, this book, this book, this book, I don't need to see a list of the books on your shelves, and it's so tedious to film one of those.
I can just look at your shelf behind you.
Yeah, but I love hearing about how people organize their shelves because I love like the rainbows that people do and how people will put authors together and have little trinkets on their shelves. So
I think it's so funny that you like don't like bookshelf tours at all, because I feel like that's one of the most highly requested videos on Booktube. Like for anyone, like I go through like a lot of popular YouTubers, it's always you can do a bookshelf tour. It's your bookshelf tour. It's your have to do a bookshelf tour. And, like they're very difficult to film.
yeah, exactly.
So my next question is, what books do you talk about too much on your channel, and what's a book or series that you feel that you don't mention enough?
For me, I feel like I always default to the same books when I get asked questions about like what's your favorite character, like male or female. So I also think I talk about, I don't say I talk about it too much, but I do mention a lot More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. I don't work for him or anything. And what do I want to talk about more? I really liked, I read Illumine and I just read the sequel Gemina, and I think everyone should read that as soon as possible. So I'll answer that.
I talk about the Mortal Instruments way too much. People tell me that they watch my channel and they haven't read it. I'm like, but how? Like, how can you sit through like a 20-minute video where I'm mostly talking about the Mortal Instruments? But I feel like I do default to like a lot of the same book, just like especially like when doing tags or like using books as like examples to prove a point. It's always the same, like Harry Potter, like The Hunger Games. But one book that I like love that I feel like I don't talk about a lot is the Selection series by K.R. Cass. I feel like it's such a hidden gem book, and while like a lot of people who have read it all love it, I feel like not enough people talk about it. And so when I'm like doing a video and I'm like trying to like broaden the books that I've read that I talk about, I always try and include the Selection just because I feel like I don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, I definitely default to like Throne of Glass, Mortal Instruments, just anything where I know there's like a huge cast of characters and I can just easily like in tags and stuff pick from them. I don't think I talk about The Darkest Mind by Alexander Bracken enough. It's so good. It's like such an important book, and I never mention it, so I would love to talk about it.
I talk about Illumine way too much, like all of the time, and I feel bad for anyone that's watched my channel and like hasn't read it. But there are, like everyone's been saying, there are a lot of books that I default to constantly, and especially when I'm filming tags, I try to work on like doing books that I never really have a chance to talk about. Like one of the books that is one of my favorites is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and I actually just made a video like why you should read that because I just never talk about it enough, but it's one of my favorite books.
So I talk about Harry Potter all the time, but a book that I've been recently talking about a lot is Kill the Boy Band by Goldie Moldavsky. Like every single time like I see like Kill the Boy Band in my Twitter feed, like I instantly retweet. I love that book so much and no one's reading it. But a book that I really should talk about more and I don't talk about enough is definitely Wonder by R.J. Palacio. It's one of my all-time favorites, and I just haven't had the chance to really just gush about it on my channel.
You know they're making a movie of it.
I know, I'm so excited. I was literally crying.
There's one video I did on my channel probably like a year ago, and it was just literally titled Books I Don't Mention Enough on my channel. And I'm like, why don't people make more of these videos? Like I feel like it's like that's such a great opportunity to dedicate to books that you just don't talk about more, because then you're like literally only talking about them. Like I don't think I mentioned the Mortal Instruments once in that video, and I was very proud of myself. So yeah, I think that's a good one that like, people should remember. Like you have the opportunity to talk about these books, you can just dedicate.
And I feel like with just Booktube as a whole, a lot of people default to like the same 5 series or something like that. So I always try to bring more variety in if I can.
What do you feel has been the best part of being part of the Booktube community?
I think the community itself, and like getting to know people, and just the fact that everyone like you meet in person is so genuinely nice. And it's like you can't talk about books to just everyone. You can't go up to people and be like, oh, I just read this really great book. People might look at you like, okay. But like if you're around people who do love books, they'll like understand that, hey, I'm excited about this book, and they'll be excited too.
I feel like a lot of the default answer for this question, because this is a question that's very common on a lot of other Booktube panels that have happened over the years, is a lot of people automatically default to friends, and yes, friends are like the highest best part of Booktube, because like Look at all my friends that I have here. But there's so many friends that like I wouldn't have made had I not like started to make videos, and like these are the friendships that are stronger than a lot of the ones that I haven't like met organically. But like my favorite part of being a part of the Booktube community is just the opportunities that could come from it. Like I feel like regardless of subscriber rank, there's so many opportunities for smaller booktubers to work with like indie authors, where like, you know, an indie author will send you your book to review. And like I remember when I only had 500 subscribers, that was like the coolest thing in the entire world. And just at BA, I interviewed Rochelle Mead, who's one of my favorite authors of all time. So I think it's like so easy for you to grow and like gain these opportunities on Booktube, and I think a lot of people are discouraged. They're like, oh, like I'll never be like Christine, who interviews every author under the sun. But I think there's so much room for people in this community to grow regardless of subscriber rank and get some of those opportunities.
Yeah, I think like it's just such the nicest community. Like you'll never, there are hate comments, but they're so rare compared to like the makeup community or like any of these huge popular YouTubers. Like everyone is so genuinely nice, and also like you meet everyone at like book signings and events, and it's a really cool community. Everyone's nice and friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say like friends and opportunities, like Emma was saying. Like before I like started Booktube and everything, I didn't know like you could get books from publishers early and review them, and I just like got my first like big one in the mail the other day. I was like, whoa, wow, look at that. So it was exciting.
So obviously friends are a huge thing. Like I loved all the friends I've made on Booktube, but a little thing that I just noticed recently is that like Booktube has kind of helped me with confidence, because when you have to sit there and watch yourself talk as you edit, you kind of learn to like not hate the sound of your voice, and like your little quirks are just, they don't seem like a big deal anymore. So I kind of feel more comfortable with myself now.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. Like I started my channel 2 years ago, and I wasn't like very good at talking to the camera at first, but then I got better. And like just like last year I made a speech to my entire grade. I never would have had the confidence to do that before Booktube and before talking in front of a camera constantly.
Yeah, you're like very aware of like I'm aware of how much I move my hands now. It's like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Booktube has helped my confidence like so many ways. I joined Booktube when I was at like one of the lowest points in my life. Like my senior year of high school was like one of the worst years of my life. Like I didn't have any friends in school, and like I was always ridiculed for like any interest I had. So when I'm really into reading, everyone's like, oh, Emma's such a nerd, all she does is read books. And then I found this community, and so quickly I automatically like just found a friend group, and it's grown to people all over the world that I'm friends with now. And I'm able to like do public speaking. I'm able to be on panels like this where I'm talking in front of people about something that I'm comfortable with. And I think just having that outlet of being able to be yourself and talk about something you love and be welcomed by almost anyone who watches your videos is a really, really positive aspect of the community. Okay, so there's this term that's been coined recently called the bookternet that kind of encompasses all the different areas of the book community online. So there's Booktube, which is the YouTube community, and then there's other ones like Bookstagram, where people post pictures on Instagram of books. There's Bookler, where people blog on Tumblr about books. And then there's, of course, book blogging. So if you weren't a booktuber, what area of the bookternet do you feel that you fall into?
I want to say I'd be a bookstagrammer, but that's like not easy to like come up with like really artsy photos. Like, let me put this rock and this string next to this book and like make it look really good. And I'd want to be able to do that, but I don't know if I'd be able to like constantly post like really artsy photos. I feel like eventually they'd be like, why did this kid put like a shoe and a book next to each other?
So what do you think you'd fall into the most easily?
What would be the easiest?
Booktuber, what would be your title?
I mean, I'd still try to Bookstagram. I'd be okay with not doing great at that.
I think I would definitely fall into Bookstagram. I mean, I don't have a specific Bookstagram, but I do like to take photos of books. I'm so much fun. So like, I wouldn't call myself a Bookstagrammer, but photography's been like a huge part of my life since I was like 13. So I think that one definitely like would complement like my love for books and photography.
I had a Hunger Games fan page for the longest time on Instagram, and so I feel like Bookstagram would have been like my next step moving from that, except it wouldn't have been artsy pictures. It probably would have been like fan edits, because that's all I did.
Yeah, I wish I could be a bookstagrammer, but I definitely couldn't. I don't know where people get all the props they use in their pictures.
Oh my God, me either.
Like, people just have all these random things in these pictures. I'm like, where do you find that? And I'd probably just be on Bookler, because I already do reviews for a website, so like I could easily kind of glide into that.
Yeah, I've tried to have blogs in the past, not like book-related blogs, but they've all kind of failed, and I never really knew how to write stuff. So I'd probably try to do Bookstagram, which I actually have tried to do Bookstagram before. Did not go well, but I think that like over the past couple months, I've started like typing up reviews, and I realized that that's actually something I'm kind of good at, and I like the way my book reviews come out when I type them. So I think that I could probably be a blogger.
I admire bloggers so much. Like I've tried it and I just can't do it. It's so much easier for me to just like sit and talk on a camera and be very animated.
Yeah.
But I like it. If there was one that I wish I could be part of, it would be the blogging community because I just think they're so good.
What you do in blog?
I posted twice on it and had nothing to do with books. And I never touched it again. So, like I said, it didn't work out. Let's see what the next question is. What is one video that you are the most proud of?
I think any video that takes like a lot of editing and a lot of different filming, and it takes like an extended period of time, and then once you see it all come together, I think I'm proud of any of those videos where I've had to play multiple like characters, like two people talking to each other, and I had to dress up differently, and it's like that takes a lot of effort. And I think when you see that come together, anytime I've done that, I'm like, I'm proud of myself. It might be weird, but I'm proud of myself.
Well, Booktube is weird, but we're all glad to be proud of ourselves. I have a lot of videos that I'm proud of. Like, I'm one of those people that I'm like, I created this and this is awesome. Like, I'm able to watch this and enjoy this. But, like you said, like, I really like I make videos for this readathon called the Find Your Bibliothon, like, shameless self-promo because I'm a host, but we do a lot of video challenges that are related to books, and so it involves a lot of wigs and a lot of different outfits and temporary tattoos, and it's so much fun to film, and, like, this isn't something that I'm used to, like, I'm not a filmmaker in any aspect, but having those come to life is like a really proud moment for me, and just like a lot of videos that take a lot of thought that I've put into. Like I was really proud of, like I did a kind of like a tutorial on like how to survive a book signing where I did like how to find them, how to get there, and what to do when you're there, and I just really like the way that came out because I just put so much effort into it. So like a lot of videos like that where like it involves a lot of like editing and different clips, and then also ones that take a lot of thought, I'm probably the most proud of.
I'm definitely, it's one biannual Bookathon video. It was, I just the crossover challenge?
Oh my god.
Where you put somebody into another book.
I remember that video was great.
It was Katniss in the Selection series, and I did it the night of, like right before it was due to like upload it, and it was me, I was like multiple people. It was a really fun time, really stressful, because I was editing it like right before it needed to go up, but it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely proud of it.
You're so good under pressure. It makes me really jealous.
I save everything to the end.
I did a video this Valentine's Day that was like a quiz sort of thing to like find your fictional boyfriend, girlfriend, and it's like I give you like two options, and then you like actually click the screen, and it takes you to another part of the video where you get another question, and it took the longest time. I think I calculated it. It was like 8 to 10 hours it took me. I was just sitting there editing, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's probably my favorite video.
I remember watching that video and I was like, I could never have the patience to do this.
It's so hard.
It's so really
but
fun.
it came out
because I
great.
just wanted to make sure it was like you were getting a lot of views out of it.
Thanks.
So there are kind of two answers for this for me. I'm sorry, but I did like a Miranda Sings book tag a couple months ago.
that video.
I dressed up as Miranda Sings, and I was just so proud of myself for like coming up with an idea, and I was like, it was like something different to add to the world of book tags. And also I've started doing document your life videos, which aren't really directly book related, but it's just kind of like montages of like things I did that month with music. And I just kind of like having like these little 2-minute videos to look back on and see like, see, like I didn't just sit there on Tumblr this month, like I did stuff, like, yeah.
I've always admired those videos too. I was like, oh, I could do that, and then I like it was like halfway through the month ahead, and I was like, no, I can't.
It's so hard to remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried to do it this year. I was like, I'm gonna do one once a month, and then I just forget to film, and I went, well, next month.
My next question is, what is the reaction from people outside of Booktube when they find out that you have a YouTube channel or that you talk about books on the internet?
I don't always tell people just because it is a different factor of my life, and like I have friends that do read, and the friends that do read, I tell them, they're like, oh, that's cool, and they're like, maybe I'll watch a video or something, and then I'll be like, okay, make sure you hit the like button. And for other people who don't read, they'll just like respect that it is something that I'm interested in, and it's something that I'm doing, and of course I'll have friends who like make a joke or something. It's never like a bad response when you tell them like you're putting like something you enjoy and you're putting it out there. Like you are making yourself vulnerable, so it'd be not that great if people respond well.
I think everyone that has ever met me for more than 5 minutes knows that I have a Booktube channel. I'm very, very open about it. So most people are like, oh, like if they haven't seen it before, they're like, oh, like really, you talk about books? I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. You just don't understand. But then people like, I work at a store that's like in a local, very like hot spot for people in my town to work at, and people from high school will be like, oh yeah, I've seen one of your videos. I'm like, oh really? Sure. So it's normally like people just don't understand it because it's not something that they're used to. Like, you know, I feel like sometimes there's just a stigma against like people who do YouTube and people who are more active on the internet than in like, you know, going out to parties all the time. But mostly I just have like a very positive reaction from like anyone that actually like matters in my life, like my friends, my boyfriend, my family. Everyone's super supportive and is just like always interested. I'm always getting questions. Like if I'm like out, most people will be like, oh, how's YouTube going? I'm like, it's going really great, thanks for asking. So I personally have a very positive experience with people that I know on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I don't openly tell a lot of people. I have some friends, like really close friends who know, and they've all been like supportive, but it's not like something I'll bring up in conversation. And then my family, they're back there. They really love it. I could be like sitting in my house anywhere and I'll hear myself somewhere around the room. Like, okay, that's me on the internet, they're watching it. But it's been like a really great response.
Yeah, my brother sometimes will just like blast my video and be like, please stop, I can't listen to myself. But at school, I'm not like completely open with it, but like if people find out, I'm not gonna like have a meltdown in the middle of the hallway. One of the memorable things was last year, some random guy in my grade, in my science class, he was like, I saw your YouTube last night. I was like, oh, because that was the first time that happened. And he was like, yeah, I watched this one video, and he began to like describe a video, like a challenge I did, and then he started recreating the challenge. It was like stacking books on your hand, so he started getting science textbooks and just stacking them up, and he's like, I think you should do reviews for school books so I don't have to read them. And I was like, you know, I'll think about that. But overall, everyone I tell, it's like, even random people that I wouldn't expect to have like a good reaction, they're like, oh, that's cool, like it's a surprise to me.
So I'm really not as open, especially because I'm in middle school, and that's kind of a place where lots of people are very judgmental, and I like having Booktube be a little bit of an escape from school. So once a bunch of people from my classes start to follow me and watch my videos, I feel like it's just gonna feel like everyone's watching me. That's gonna freak me out. But I mean, I've told my friends, my family, while also my mom signed my books and stuff, we do this. But like, I don't know, I just kind of don't want to tell people in school.
Yeah, I feel like when you know like who's watching and like you know like everyone's kind of a stranger until you know they're watching, then you feel like you want to censor yourself. Like to truly be yourself, you need to like just have a random audience.
Exactly.
Yeah, at this point though, like I feel like once you get to a certain point, like at this point I feel really like confident with it because I would consider myself fairly successful. So like if someone were like, oh, that's so stupid, I'd be like, well, I have viewers, like it's a successful thing, like what are you doing?
I mean, like, you could just be like, well, I'm like best friends with Jay Kristoff. I don't understand. I feel like a lot of people are just nervous about it. Like I do a lot of videos where I just talk about like how to do Booktube and like how to improve your channel, and so many people are like, I really want to start, but I'm so nervous about people from school finding out. I feel like it's not as common as people think. Like, you know, unless your name is like your actual name, like unless like my channel name is Envy Jordano, I don't think a lot of people can find me that easily. But I think a lot of people are just like nervous of your reaction. But I think you can see like from most of us, people like generally do have a very positive reaction. They're very supportive to it. So how would you guys sum up Booktube to people who don't know about the community or don't understand the community? I'm not sure if everyone here actually knows what Booktube really is. Like if somebody was like, what's Booktube, what would you say?
I don't want to take the whole definition since there's other people to talk afterwards, but I'd say one part of it that is really important is that when you walk into a bookstore, there's hundreds of books you know nothing about, thousands of books you know nothing about, and so Booktube is a way to sort of get people aware of things that they're interested in and maybe you'll be interested in, and it's just like you can watch a video and hear about 20 books in a single video that are like, oh, that's interesting, oh, that's interesting. So it's just a place where you can talk about potential books and things like that. More definitions.
Sort of like a Barnes Noble customer service.
Yeah, it's literally just like an online book recommendation service for people who are actually like talking to you for it. I think a really important aspect of Booktube is that it's readers enacting with each other all over the world. Like there are, you know, not everyone on Booktube speaks English. Like there's all these different communities from all these different countries, and you know, while the most subscribed people have like 300,000 people, that's a lot of people to be subscribed to one person, and that doesn't even cover the extent of the entire community. So I think it's just really important that there's a place for readers from anywhere that you have internet access. You can, whether it's like just watching the videos or commenting or making videos yourself, it's something that anyone who loves books is able to be a part of and like come together and be welcomed to the community.
Yeah, it takes, like, reading is something you do alone, and it makes it this whole thing where you have all these people, when you don't have people in your community to talk to or friends that you're close to that read, they'll be there for you. And it also just lets you be creative and do something more than just read the book, like you can go beyond that.
And I feel like it encourages more people to read too. Like, someone will read like The Hunger Games or like something really common that a bunch of people read, but then Booktube can kind of help you like, well, if you like The Hunger Games, you can read all of these, and like it just gets you more into books and more passionate about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure like what hasn't been said, I guess. But, I guess like one of the great things like that makes Booktube what it is that there's like so many people that you can find like different Booktubers like based on your taste or like based on like who you are. So like I kind of have been seeking out like other teens on Booktube to like make friends with and stuff, because I mean people say like, oh yeah, like make friends with people with the same interests as you like when you go to school, but sometimes like there's only like 5 other Booktube like book nerds in your grade, and maybe they all read completely different stuff than you, and you're like, well, I'm stuck. I don't have anyone to talk about books I read with. And on Booktube, there's all these people you can talk to.
Do you guys have any specific goals that you like hope to achieve with your channel? Like whether that be like an actual subscriber goal, or maybe like an opportunity, or just a type of video to make, or a way to improve your channel. Like what's one thing you want to like do for it in the future?
But something that I always like hearing is when I talk about a book and then I get a message from someone saying they liked it and they read it, and just like the fact that I'm enjoying something and I'm actually influencing other people to read it as well and pick it up. Like that's always like really cool to hear. That like there's actually something happening. Like you're not just making videos for no one. There's people watching and they are like going along with what you're saying, and, like appreciating the things you're talking about. So I like when people say they have read books that I've mentioned before. I like that.
If there's like a materialistic goal, I want to. I just want to interview Cassandra. Like if I can have her on my channel once in my life, I'm not worried. Like I'm pretty confident that I talk about her books enough that like one day it'll eventually happen.
Start a petition.
Yeah. Get emmmmabooks to but also like on a more deeper level, like one thing that I love about Booktube is when people tell me that like I've inspired them to start their channel. Like I just want to continue to be able to make videos on how to help people start their channel, whether it be something small like how to you know, improve your book reviews, which is a video done, or like just, you know, tips on like actually like getting the confidence to join your channel. I just think like that's one of my favorite parts of being on Booktube, is like helping people join the community and find their place and find what kind of videos they want to make, and just like get people more into this community and like spread the word about Booktube.
Yeah, kind of like there's materialistic goals where like I would love to do another author interview. I've interviewed Susan Dennard, and I would just love to do like another one. And then on like a deeper level, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, keep like a consistent uploading schedule, and like just keep having people like what I put up. Like it's not, I want people to watch, but it doesn't have to be a huge number. It just has to be that people like comment and care that like what I'm uploading.
Yeah, I'll do like a materialistic and
You're
like,
allowed to have a materialistic.
Okay, so I'm like 15 subscribers away from 1,000 right now, so that's like my current thing. But besides that, I kind of just want to make people feel like they're less alone. Like I know a lot of people can feel kind of isolated in being interested in reading, so I just kind of want to be like, hey, there are other people out there that like reading, there are other people that enjoy it and are passionate about it.
I'm not really sure what to say for the materialistic.
You don't have to have one. You're allowed to have one.
Like I think about subscriber counts and stuff because it's kind of hard not to, but I guess materialistic goals wise, I'd kind of love to get more comments, because you like sometimes you get a view, but you don't know if someone clicked on it and they said, "Whoops, I meant to click on the video above it." So I would love to like to see that people are actually like thinking about what I'm saying. And then the other thing, like kind of more personally, is I kind of want to feel more qualified in my book reviewing. Like, I feel like since I've only been reading mostly YA for about a year and a half, like, I sometimes doubt myself as I review things, but I want to feel like when I'm reviewing something that what I'm saying is going to have an impact, and that it's not just some silly review about this ship is my life, you know. So
I totally agree with you on the reviewing front. It's something I definitely want to like improve with myself. So what is your favorite book that you picked up because it was recommended to you on Booktube?
I gotta think about that one.
You're not allowed to pass this one.
Can you come back to me later?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Okay.
Whenever like I think about this question, I always just automatically am drawn to the Shadow Me series by Tahara Mafi, because I remember walking. It wasn't
I
even
just whispered
Whitney. I
the
found
same.
Whitney after, and it was like, oh wait, like this girl loves Shadow Me as much as I love the World. It's fantastic. But I had seen a lot of people, like I started Booktube when Ignite Me came out, if anyone like knows the series, and so I had been seeing this gorgeous cover of this bright blue eye everywhere. I was like, that is beautiful. And for some reason, when I first started Booktube, it never occurred to me that like books people were holding up were a series. So I thought Ignite Me was just like a standalone, and then I went to the library and I got all of them. And so whenever I think about it, I just remember being like, I want this cover. I don't even care what this book is about, but I want to read it. So that's definitely one. And the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer is another one that like I probably never would have even glanced at the book if it wasn't for Booktube. But it's fantastic.
I have like so many. I feel like everything I've read has been because of Booktube. Like I remember when I first started watching and I wasn't like making videos yet, I took a piece of paper and made a list of like every book anyone would hold up and be like, I need to read this at some point. So I think The Darkest Minds was a Booktube recommendation, and it's sorry, but it's so good. Brynn, you can talk about it more if you want.
Oh no, it's my turn now. Yeah, The Darkest Minds definitely. That got me to pick up the first book. It's one of my favorite series now. I love it so much. Probably the Raven Cycle 2. That and that's like
I think one of the like best things, like because of Booktube that I picked up recently, was Every Last Word by mental illness like in books is so important, and I feel like OCD is like stereotyped a lot as like cleaning and like organizing. Like I know my only thing I'd heard about OCD before this book was like the girl on TV who like is always cleaning her office. But it was so interesting how like another side of mental illness was being shown. It wasn't just like, it was like the other symptoms that you don't normally see, and I thought that was like really good that I could understand like people with OCD a little bit better.
I don't know if you guys wanted to like open questions up to other people, but like for one final question, like what is advice that you would give to somebody who is interested in starting their own YouTube channel?
I would say you don't have to have like a plan or an idea at first. You don't have to feel like you have to have a strict filming schedule, or you need to know when you're going to upload, what you're going to upload. If you just want to do it, then do it, and don't feel like you need to like fit into any sort of box. Like if you don't want to do a certain type of video that everyone uploads, you don't have to. Just sort of like go for it. Just go for it.
I mean, I'm asked this a lot, just because I do so many Booktube videos that talk about starting a channel. I think it's important to remember that like it's good to be inspired by the popular Booktubers. I think everyone here can say like we've all been very inspired by the people who, you know, have really built this community, but you don't have to be exactly like them. Like I went on this whole rant the other day because people are so like afraid of joining Booktube when they mainly use a library or only use a library or don't own a lot of books. And, like there's no, you don't have to buy anything to start Booktube. You can start filming on your iPhone, you can edit on your iPhone, you can edit, like there's a YouTube editing thing as well. You don't need an editing software, you just gotta talk about books. And so if you have that passion, regardless of if you want to do reviews or if you want to do discussions or if you want to post 50 tags for your first 50 videos, I say go for it. It's just important to remember that like there's no requirement other than just wanting to talk about books.
Yeah, like going off of what Emma was just saying, you don't need a big bookshelf to do Booktube. Like, I fell into that. I had to get every book ever to just stand behind. But you can stand in front of anything and still talk about books. Yeah. That's like one thing that people are like, I don't have a bookshelf, so I can't film a Booktube video. That's not true at all.
Yeah, I remember for the longest time I was like, I'm gonna make a Booktube channel once I get this thing. Like, I wanted to have just a bunch of like good filming equipment and stuff. And originally when I first started out, I was doing everything on my phone. I was editing on my phone, filming on my phone, and then I kind of just built it up. So you don't need like a really expensive camera or like iMovie or Final Cut to like actually make videos. people appreciate content more than quality, like through your video. It's something else I was going to say, but I completely
I think the thing that, like, my kind of mistake when I joined Booktube is you can't think about numbers too quickly, especially, like, I did the Booktube newbie tag, which is a tag that a lot of people do when they join Booktube, because people search it a lot to, like, find new Booktubers. But the problem with this tag is that a lot of people will go through and just spam comments to get their channel out there, because the new Booktubers will see people commenting and they'll go subscribe to all their commenters. And so, like, right off the bat, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm Booktube famous. I started making comments, like, look at me. And, like, the next video, I got, like, 5 views, and I was like, what? So, you kind of, like, you have to understand that sometimes, like, based on, like, what you start out doing, like, you'll have, like, spikes in, like, your, like, analytics or whatever. Like, sometimes, like, your numbers at the beginning, like, don't really mean as much, like, once you start getting more videos out there, so don't get too excited or don't get too discouraged based on, like, where you start out.
Yeah, like, if no one is watching your videos at first, don't give up. Just, like, keep posting, because people are going to find you, and they're going to, like, the odds are what you're making is really good and entertaining, so just don't give up and keep frequently posting, no matter, like, how many likes you get or how many views you get.
I also think, like, that's such a good point to be in with Booktube. Like, I think the first few months, like, when you're getting, like, only 10 views on videos, that's the perfect time for you to work on yourself. Watch a video and be like, how can I improve this? Like, you don't have 20,000 people watching you at this point. So, like, you're able to just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to film with natural light for a while, and maybe when I get paid next week, I can buy, like, an actual studio light, or, you know, like, I noticed that I don't like this about my book review, so let me fix that before I have all the pressure from a ton of viewers. And so I think it's important to remember that there's not a lot of people watching you, because when you do have a lot of people watching you, you definitely have to be more critical of, like, what you're doing and be more aware of what you're saying. So I think that time period is, like, really important. Like, you have so much potential to, like, improve things, like, at that point. So does anyone have any questions, like, from the audience?
So my question for you, and I was a little bit late, but I don't think you were talking about this earlier. You talked about how you don't really share with that many people what you do, although you said you do. Yeah. I just wonder, like, in the future, like, what do you plan on doing, and how might you incorporate the experiences you've had with this? Like, are any of you planning on going into publishing, or any of you planning on going into journalism, or even, like, video and television, or writing? I'm just curious how you want to take this and maybe incorporate it into, because someday you might be in an interview and say, well, when I was younger, I made this channel, because that's impressive. Like, what you guys are doing is impressive. So very curious what you want to do.
You can change the order.
Oh, sorry. You can go first.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because I actually do work in publishing. I've interned in publishing, and it helped that I did have the channel to show that, like, I knew what I was talking about, because it was book related. And yeah, when I went into the interview and they're like, oh, I've seen your channel, and I was like, my immediate reaction was like, oh god, no. But then after talking to them for a while, I realized, like, okay, well, they're acknowledging that I do read books, and it was for the YA section. And
they brought you in, so they must have.
So specifically to that, yeah, I do want to work in the publishing industry, and it's like, they're closely related contact-wise. It's a good combination to have a channel and establish that you are interested in what you're doing.
I currently go to school for psychology. I'm a sophomore in college, and I have a minor in criminal justice. And so while I want to be a clinical mental health counselor, I think, it is important that, like, I've had all these experiences of different outlets for, like, my own experiences with mental illness, because Booktube has helped me a lot with that. So I think can definitely play into that in the future, of having, I have a client who's in a similar position as I was in, and I'm like, maybe you want to start talking about your interests on YouTube. And also, I am planning on possibly getting an internship in publishing, just because, I understand the book world from the consumer and the reader's point of view, and I'd just love to learn more about the actual industry and, like, what goes into the books that we actually are purchasing at Barnes Noble. So I definitely do want to get more involved in the publishing industry in the future.
Yeah, I definitely want to either write or publish or get, like, into the book world. So I think this is just, like, the first step to finally, like, understand what's actually, like, the publishing industry. You see it from afar, but then once you're into, like, Booktube and go to, like, designing and stuff, like, you learn so much more. So I definitely, like, it's very important.
Yeah, sorry, my voice is I've been considering going into publishing recently. I think I'm actually going to talk to an editor over the summer, like, about, like, what like jobs you can do and stuff to see if that's something I'd definitely be interested in. And I feel like even if, like Emma touched on, even if you're not really going into the book industry, your channel is still something you should show off, kind of, because like it shows if you upload on a daily basis or whatever, it shows you have commitment and you're like working hard. So
yeah, Booktube can definitely have parents about my channel. I told the lady who interviewed me in private school about my channel. It was like a very like spur of the moment decision. And I was like, yeah, actually I do YouTube videos about books, and I think that it's like it's been very impressive to my teachers, I guess, that like I read critically. So it kind of like it can help you in life even if you don't go into the book world. But I do plan on hopefully designing book covers in the future because I love graphic design.
Yeah. Like Carolyn was saying, I hear a lot of people put it on their college applications and stuff as kind of like something that they've done outside of school, whether it's not a club or something, but they've been like consistently uploading, so it looks good. I wish I had one.
Did anyone else have any questions?
I think it's Danielle and Carolyn who do the monthly day in the life videos. I watched them this morning, so I think I saw Carolyn's and somebody watched 2 of them. So how do you get away with using music that has song lyrics to it?
Okay, so my videos are currently not monetized, which means like I don't get like paid from YouTube to make videos
so don't
based on
monetize
ads.
it.
Yeah, I think that you can like monetize certain videos and not monetize certain videos. Some people, I've kind of done this before, but like sometimes when you speed music up in iMovie, you can get away with it. But it's a little controversial, so I'm not gonna like necessarily recommend that. But I have like a little copy thing that comes up when I put up my Document Your Lives because I use copyrighted music. So if I were to monetize my videos, I wouldn't get paid for them. Like not all of them, but like the ones that use copyright.
YouTube also.
I know there's a
flag when I do that.
Yeah, I know there's a place in YouTube, like in your settings somewhere where you can search songs, and like some songs will be blocked in certain countries. Like one time I uploaded a video and there was a song in the background, and little did I know that the video would be blocked in every country except for Germany. So had to delete that. But yeah, so you can search and like see if it's okay and like the guidelines for that song. So that's helpful.
Yeah, it's in the Creator Studio under Audio Library, and you can also, YouTube has a function where you can like search different music, whether you're like they have it by genre and like feeling, I guess.
Never with words.
No, they usually don't have it with words, but you can search it, and there are certain ones, like if you're not planning on making a lot of money, like, I mean, I do monetize my videos, and I do make money from them, but every once in a while, like, if it's okay, like, you know, if they're aware that I'm using it and I'm not getting any faults from it, but there are certain ones that like, you do want to double check it, and there's also a lot of popular artists, like, you know, Taylor Swift, I think Justin Bieber, and Drake, like, very, very popular artists. They don't give YouTube, like, the legal rights to, you know, put those in videos, so, like, those are the ones where you get the flag for. But in YouTube, you can check to see, like, you can search it, and you can see how many people use it, like, how popular it is. Like, usually if it's very popular, I'm like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But you can see, like, all the restrictions, whether it's, like, you can monetize it, but they put, like, a label at the bottom, or you can't monetize it, or it's blocked in certain countries. So there are ways for you to, like, look up, like, does this song work for it or not?
Like, I always speed songs up. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that, or if that's
You're
like
not
a way to get around it. Then I probably shouldn't do that, but it works.
Yeah, I have a Bookstagram, but going into like Booktube, how big of a transition would that be?
I've seen a lot of Bookstagrammers transition, and it's fine. Like, I think it might help with like video and stuff, like what looks good on video, but I don't think it would be that big of a transition.
It's also like it gives you an audience before you start. It's people who look at your Bookstagrams and like your Bookstagrams are gonna go over, like some of them will check out your videos. So if anything, I'd say it's like it's helpful that you had something before and you were in the community before you started.
No.
Just talk about
What I was going to say is, really the only difference is the medium. You're still talking about books, you're still talking about the same books, and you're still going to be showing books. And so I think it's just important to remember that like the only thing that's really changing is like where you're posting it, and that you're now talking in front of a camera instead of typing a caption. So I don't think, you know, I think honestly out of all of them, I feel like Bookstagram and Booktube are the ones that cross over the most, that like people do both. There are like a lot of, you know, obviously like, bloggers who have Booktubes and book bloggers who have Bookstagram, but I feel like Booktube and Bookstagram are definitely two of the ones that are most interconnected. But I think like if you're inspired enough and you want to start talking about them, like it is good that you also have an audience already. But I mean, I don't have I have the opposite where like I started doing Bookstagram from it, from Booktube instead of it being the reverse. But I don't think it would be like that difficult, you know, because it's still the same world, really.
Yeah, I went Instagram fan page. That's what we both did. And it was good because I had a semi-popular fan page, so like I did get viewers from that, and I was also just used to like making things and uploading consistently and that kind of stuff. So it does really help to just have something that you've like that has been about books and you've been like monitoring it before, and it will cross over well, I think.
Go for it.
I think that it does help you a lot actually when you've already like had like a Bookstagram or something like that, because the thing with the internet is like, since this is like the first like digital age or whatever, like you kind of need like that trial and error to like figure out like things that are a mistake to do online, and like things like that might not come across well without a little smiley face because you can't convey tone when you're typing a message. So it's good to have like experience before Booktube, so that actually is going to help you a lot, I think. But you don't like, you obviously don't need it to start Booktube, but it could definitely help you a lot. So
I do know of a lot of Bookstagrammers that like, I mean, I found them through Booktube, but like I know that they have more popular Bookstagram accounts. So like a lot of people do it, so don't think it's like some crazy thing that's like impossible for you to do. Like I think as long as you have the passion that you're like, I want to talk about books in a different format, then it's absolutely possible, and I really don't think you'll have that much trouble. Does anyone else have any other questions?
What are you guys most interested in books for like the next couple years?
Oh jeez.
Okay, Cooking Kingdoms, the sequel to Six of Crows. I have a list on my phone, it's not possible.
I'm really excited for Gemini. I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
How dare you?
I feel like
Get on it right now.
every book that I want to read that's like coming out this year, I do have a copy of it from DDA just because there were so many arcs. But I'm trying to go through it. I'm really excited for Furthermore by Haramafi. Furthermore, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I think that's my most favorite. Is Heartless, definitely.
Empire Storms by Sarah J. Maas. That's Sarah Basketball. Interesting time, I'm sure I'm gonna suffer. And then Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. That's like January 2017.
I'm so excited
but
for
it's gonna be good.
Everyone pretty much said what I've been anticipating. I would say Gemini, but I've already read it, so I feel like I can't really anticipate it that much.
You can still anticipate
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Aren't you so happy for everyone to talk about it with you?
Yeah. With Illuminate, that was so painful. Like, I went through like 5 months of no one knowing, and I was just dying. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, that's coming out end of July, I think.
Did I miss this? Did you meet Jay? They were all here.
Yeah, it was so awesome.
So I'm really looking forward to some of the Harry Potter related things coming out this year. Like Cursed Child, I am so excited for. I'm going to be at camp though, so I'm going to receive it a few days late. I'm going to be cut off from the internet, so I won't be able to talk about it. But I'm going to be like, I'm so mad that I can't go to midnight releases for it because I missed all the book
we were
releases.
counting on you.
I know, I'll be there like
In spirit.
Yeah, in spirit. But I'm also really excited for the Fantastic Beasts movie and the screenplay and the new illustrated Harry Potter, even though I didn't do the first one. Only one.
I do have a question. Okay, you go ahead.
I'm currently like in a really big like reading slump, and I'm just kind of rereading books I love. But are there any like books that you could like recommend?
Carolyn. Okay, you go.
Kill the Boy Band by Golden Modassky, because it feels like you're reading like the most crazy fan fiction ever. Like you think it's not gonna get crazier, and then it does. It's so much fun. Like that was the first book in a long time that I read during class while the teacher was talking. But it was so good. It's like just such a fun book to read.
Yeah, I've been reading slumps all the time, so I know how you feel. I think any contemporary book is probably like a safe bet because they're just so like easy to read and you'll read it quickly, and then you'll just want to read more.
And then The French Kiss, if you haven't read that. Stephanie Perkins would be my go-to. I don't really get in reading stuff though.
I don't either. I'm just like always out. My problem is that like I just don't have time to read. Like it's not a book slump. It's like a where's the time to read? For me, I feel like I recommend like a lot of like popular books. I'm not sure if you know any of these. But Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead totally took me out of my book slump. I mean, it put me in another one because I was in a hangover for like 3 months. But it's fantastic, as well as the companion series Bloodlines, which I'm currently reading. Every Last Word by Tamara Eileen Stone, like you said before, fantastic. I think it just depends on what genre you like. Like everyone's like contemporaries, but I'm like, fantasies get me out of book slumps because I love fantasy so much, and so if I can read like a really urban fantasy, because you know I'm not about high fantasy, but I think like if you just like take what genre that you love most, or like if you really love a book, find out what books are similar to it, and I think like that'll help you too, because then you have like the feelings of like your favorite books in like a new form rather than just rereading them over and over and over.
Yeah. Actually, Nicola Yoon is also really good for reading slumps.
Everything.
She saved me from an Illuminate book hangover and a Gemini book hangover. So
I think Illuminate would be good too.
But
I was thinking of that, but
I was also thinking that, but I was like, she's said Illuminate a bunch now.
If you're new to sci-fi, then it might not be good.
Yeah.
That was kind of like
No, but I think it's cool because it's a different format. So like you're reading like the same.
It goes by really fast.
Yeah. You know, we get into like a habit of like reading the same like YA, like climax, falling action, like, you know, it's the same like course of a story, and Illuminate is really cool because it's mixed media, so like you're learning the story through like emails and like video transcripts and stuff.
It makes
so like
me mad that I didn't think of that idea first. Like, if I could ever write one book instead of like the author writing, I would have written Illuminate. It's just so creative.
Maybe you should write it down for her. She might forget it.
we can make a
We should do an end cap from this point on, like what our booktubers suggest. Reading. We'll talk about that later.
Did anyone else have a question?
So I had a question, and I can ask this real quick. I think we kind of talked about it. So, your favorite author that you met, and what author do you still aspire to meet? Like, the author.
I can answer.
Well, I'm gonna say my favorite author that I've met, I do work with him as well, but Adam Silvera, he wrote More Happy Than Not. It was a debut book this last year, and he's just a really cool dude. He's really chill. Emma knows she's interviewed
Adam's
him.
my fave.
And an author that I really want to meet. I think Victoria Schwab would be cool to meet.
Well, we're meeting her in July.
Oh yeah, we'll be meeting her soon.
There you go.
Yeah, she wrote young adult. She's written a lot of adult and young adult books, and she has the Savage Song.
My favorite author that I met is obviously Cassandra Clare. She's I met her 3 times in the past 2.5 years. J.K. Rowling's probably the author that I would love to be the most, but I don't know how that'll ever happen because I'm pretty sure she's done signing. But I do go to a lot of book signings. I probably go to book signings like at least one a month. So I've met a lot of authors.
I feel like I lived
I don't know. Who else besides J.K. Rowling? Like, can I meet?
Who you guys, who you would like?
I feel like I'll think about it.
Okay. My favorite is Susan Dennard, and it's kind of the same with Michael. I was on the street team for her, so like I knew her before meeting her, and she's just the sweetest person. If you haven't read her book, please do it. And one person I would like literally die to meet is Suzanne Collins, because The Hunger Games, I knew I was going to take her.
She doesn't exist anymore.
She does. Yeah. And that would just be the greatest.
One of my biggest regrets, we went to the Mockingjay premiere in LA, which was like the craziest thing ever. She was there. Biggest regret was not like
serious security.
She had a whole circle, but I wish I just like sprinted through it and tried. Yeah, my favorite would obviously be Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, just because like they said I knew them beforehand, so they recognized me and they were like, hey, what's up, and everything. I'd love to meet Cassandra Clare. I still haven't met her, but I'd love to meet her. I thought it'd be too crazy.
So I think my favorite author meeting experience was Marissa Meyer a couple months ago, because I cosplayed as Cinder, so I did like the hand makeup, and someone from Fierce Reads actually took a picture of my hand and put it on their Instagram, and now like thousands of people have seen my hand, which is so weird to me. But obviously, like, I would do literally anything to meet J.K. Rowling. Like, I am willing to cut off my arm. I would do anything. Like, y'all think I'm joking? I'm not.
I would give up my firstborn child. Like,
Wait, Lin-Manuel is on a big sign?
well, he's not like, he's kind of like, okay, Lin-Manuel Miranda was probably my real favorite author meeting experience, but he's not like a YA author. But that was also amazing.
I also like to add Maggie C. Potter.
Oh, she's
a really cool time. She jumps on tables. Maggie C.
I
Potter.
literally just saw a picture from the sign she did like 2 days ago.
Yeah, she jumps on tables. She's crazy.
We went to her Books of Wonder signing, and there was like so many people that she just stood on the table the entire time and did the Q&A from there. And it was the best thing ever.
I'd also love to meet Veronica Roth. We've had like quite a few
Almost. Kind of met her,
experiences.
like,
We've
4
like
times.
bumped into her a couple times.
scared her
but
away.
I've never
saw her at the airport
Yeah,
that
we
one
saw her in
time,
the
right?
airport. We
Yeah, I
saw her
scared her
at
away.
Napa party. We've seen her a couple of times, but we like never actually were like, hi, I love your books. You're a fantastic author. So she's definitely like.
And she'll be working touring soon for Carolyn.
Sarah J. Maas is really cool. I've met her a lot. She's so sweet and so fun.
She's like definitely like one of the best authors. Do we have any other questions?
Please give these wonderful, wonderful people